There is certainly a school of thought that William and Kate were not happy at the way in which these royal rock stars, Harry and Meghan, overshadowed them, and that they're quite happy now to see them out of the country. That's one of the reasons people close to the scene doubt whether there'll be a reconciliation, because, you know, it's the old syndrome. This town is too small for both of us.
So first of all, it's called Battle of the Brothers. And you say that this feud between William and Harry is worse than people thought. Why so?
Yes, I think every day makes clear that it's worse than people thought, and certainly it goes back way before people realized. I mean, one of the objectives of the book is to go back into the past of these two boys, into their childhoods, to see the way in which their lives were shaped cruelly, really, by the breakdown of their parents' marriage, and by the royal roles and distortion that was placed upon them. Actually, when they were born, it was William who was the rumbustious character. It was Harry who was the good little boy who sucked his stuff. Then William discovers that he's going to be king. He becomes much more serious and quiet. We're talking about the age of 6 or 7. Harry goes the other way. There's a famous story about he was in the back of the car at the age of 4. His nanny told him to behave, and he said, I don't have to behave. I'm not going to be king. So already, as children, their roles are being shaped for them. In his teenage years, Harry becomes aware of this. Both he and William get into, well, let's not say trouble, but into wild times at parties. Harry, in fact, was caught taking drugs. He notoriously was caught dressed in a Nazi uniform.
You say that William had a little more to do with choosing that costume than we know as the public.
When they went to a costume party, they both went together to the costume shop. Harry chose the Nazi uniform of a stormtrooper. William approved, apparently. William chose himself a nice, safe leopard or lion costume. They go home laughing. They go to the party laughing. But when the story comes out, it is Harry who gets the blame. And William escapes scot-free. And this is the first time we discover conflict between the brothers. Harry starts resenting the stereotype that is forced upon him. Court jester. You know, William is the king of the castle. He's the dirty rascal. When Kate comes along, he happily falls into the role of number 3. Fits in. So far, so good. And then he falls in love with Meghan. And that really turns things around, and she makes him see things in a new way.
So is that where the rift really started with William and Harry, when he saw how deep he was falling in love with Meghan so quickly?
I would say that there were stresses and strains there before, and then with the advent of Meghan, that was what provoked the really big break. William, let us not forget, he made his girlfriend wait 9 years before they married, because he wanted Weighty Katie to be sure she would be happy as queen. Whereas William, from all the turmoil of their childhood, took strength from the idea of his duty and what lay ahead for him as king. Harry cottoned on to the importance of love. They were the product of a loveless arranged marriage. He was going to go for love. So when he found Meghan, he went for that. And when William said to him, look, perhaps you should slow down a bit, Harry exploded. William then went to his uncle Charles, who is Diana's brother, who'd been a sort of godfather, honorary godfather to the boys, and asked him to intervene and suggest to Harry that he slow down. And Harry rejected William's model. He knew what he wanted. He loved this woman, and he was going to marry her. So that was certainly the beginning of the rift. There are numerous occasions when, in recent times, the two brothers have lost their temper with each other. It's been quite well known that Harry has a volatile temper. As I started writing the book, a lot of people close to the scene would say, well, you know that William has a temper as well. So we have two emotionally damaged young men here.
It's so interesting to hear you talk about William's temper, because from the outside looking in to the public, we do get this picture painted that Harry's a little rambunctious and doing his own thing, and that William is very much regimented, and that he's very even keeled, and that he's like cool as ice.
William is as cool as ice, and William is building himself and Kate into models of the perfect future sovereigns for Britain. But we know at the beginning of this year, the big row exploded in the royal family about Harry and Meghan's plans to go and live in Canada. The Queen said, all right, we'll have a meeting next Monday afternoon, 2:00. We'll sit down, you bring all your advisors, we'll hash something out. And before that, we'll have a lunch, to talk as family. And one of the brothers said no. And which brother was that? That was William, wasn't Harry. Harry went to the lunch.
You wrote that William was really ticked off about the details of Archie's christening. Why was he so upset about that?
There's a tradition in British royal history that the newborn baby, especially any baby that is close to the line of the throne, should be shown to the public. And Harry and Meghan both said, no, we want our new baby to be born in privacy and decency. We're not going to parade him to the public. They already had their hostility towards the press. They said, no, we're not parading for the public. We will show Archie in good time. And they did 2 days later. So that was the background to that row over the fact that Archie was not shown to the public as William showed all his babies when they were born. When Archie was born, Doria, Meghan's mother, was actually there or close. And we know that within a few days, the Queen and Prince Philip, old though he is, went round to see the new baby. For some reason, William and Kate took 8 days before they visited Archie. And then, unlike normal practice, they didn't bring their own children to meet their little cousin. We don't know the details of that, but it's one of the signs of behavior that we have to decipher in the British royal family. It's very interesting that the only one of the two who has publicly acknowledged a break, although of course he is living an ocean and a continent apart from his brother, is Harry, who, in his interview last year in Africa, he said, we're going our separate ways. But he also said, I will always be there for my brother, just as he will be for me. But what's interesting is that William has never said anything like that. William has actually never publicly acknowledged that there is a rift.